Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you guys my Read Aloud series for The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Um, and I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done this video, but I kind of misplaced this book about a couple of weeks ago, and I found it last week, and then I just got busy doing other videos and getting ready for school and things like that. Because as I've said before, I start school again on September 6th, 2017. I have to make sure I remember that date. So I just didn't really. I just been kind of busy, and also if you don't have the book, it's kind of tough to read it. So what I've decided to do is I set a timer on my phone, and I am going to set 2 hours of my time today to read this book. And by the way that I struggled just to get those words out, it's not going to probably go very well. I really want to finish this book by Wednesday or before then, because I want to finish reading it by before I go back to school. And then as for when I'll review this book, I'll probably review it but at some point at the end of the year, because I'll be too busy with school and stuff to really. I don't want to read through it again after I just read it, so I'll probably read through it again, read the Spark Note stuff, and review the book. But I will talk about that more when I get to the last chapter. But let me talk about this chapter. So this chapter, I'm on chapter 27, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look it up real quick. Yeah, 27. Because I'm not good with my Roman numerals. So this chapter is called The Young Detectives, and it starts on page 178 and it ends on page 181. So I'm just going to get right into it. Book's falling apart. It's an old book, and it's going to be my first Read Aloud series using this microphone right here, which I'm pretty excited about. So I'm just gonna get started off. So this chapter is only about like 4 pages, maybe 3. The adventure of the day mightily tormented Tom's dreams that night. 4 times he had his hands on the rich treasure, and 4 times it wasted to nothingness in his fingers as sleep forsook him and wakefulness brought back the hard reality of his misfortune. As he lay in the early morning recalling the incidents of his great adventure, he noticed that they seemed curiously subdued and far away, somewhat as if they had happened in another world or in a time long gone by. Then it occurred to him that the great adventure itself must be a dream. There was one very strong argument in favor of this idea, namely that the quantity of coin he had seen was too vast to be real. He had never seen as much as $50 in one mass before, and he was like all boys of his age and station in life, in that he imagined that all references to hundreds and thousands were mere fanciful forms of speech. I think that's how you say that. And that no such sums really existed in the world. He never had supposed for a moment that so large a sum as $100 was to be found in actual money in anyone's possession. If his notions of hidden treasure had been analyzed, they would have been found to consist of a handful of real dimes and a bushful of vague, splendid, ungraspable dollars. But the incident of his adventure grew sensibly sharper and clearer under the attrition of thinking them over, and so he presently found himself leaning to the impression that the thing might not have been a dream after all. The uncertainty must be wept away. He would snatch a hurried breakfast and go and find Huck. Huck was sitting on the gunwale of a flatboat, listily dangling his feet in the water and looking very melancholy. Tom concluded to let Huck lead up to the subject. If he did not do it, then the adventure would be proved to have been only a dream. Hello, Huck. Hello yourself. Silence for a moment. Tom, if we'd left the blamed tools at the dead tree, we'd got the money. Oh, ain't it awful? 'Tain't a dream, then. 'Tain't a dream. Somehow I most wish it was. Dog, if I don't hug. What ain't a dream? All that thin yesterday, I been half thinking it was. Dream, if them stairs hadn't broke down, you'd have seen how much a dream it was. I've had dreams enough all night with that patch-eye Spanish devil going for me all through rot him. No, not rot him. Find him. Track the money. Tom won't never find him. A fellow don't have only one chance for such a pile, and that one's lost. I'd feel mighty shaky if I was to see him anyway. Well, so'd I, but I'd like to see him anyway, and track him out to his number 2. Number 2, yes, that's it. I've been thinking about that, but I can't make nothing out of it. What do you reckon it is? I don't know, it's too deep. Say, Huck, maybe it's the number of a house. Goody. No, Tom. That ain't it. If it is, it ain't in this one-horse town. They ain't no numbers here. Well, that's so. Let me think a minute. Here, it's the number of a room in a tavern, you know. Oh, that's the trick. They ain't only 2 taverns. We can find out quick. You stay here, Huck, till I come. Tom was off at once. He did not care to have Huck's company in public places. He was gone half an hour. He found that in the best tavern, number 2 had long been occupied by a young lawyer, and was still so occupied. In the less ostentatious house, if that's how you say that, then I'm going to be surprised, number 2 was a mystery. The tavern's keeper's young son said it was kept locked all the time, and he never saw anybody go into it or come out of it except at night. He did not know any particular reason for this state of things. He had some little curiosity, but it was rather feeble, had made the most of the mystery by entertaining himself with the idea that the room was haunted. I think it's supposed to say haunted, but it says haunted because I think it's like I said, southern accent. Had noticed that there was a light in there the night before. That's what I've found, Huck. I reckon that's the very number 2 we're after. I reckon it is, Tom. Now, what are you going to do? Let me think. Tom thought a long time, then he said, I'll tell you. The back door of that number 2 was the door that comes out into that little closed alley between the tavern and the old rattle trap of a brick door. Now, you get a hold of all the door keys you can find, and I'll nip all of Auntie's, and the first dark night we'll go there and try 'em. And mind you keep a lookout for Injun Joe, because he said he was going to drop into town and spy around once more for a chance to get his revenge. If you see him, you would just follow him, and if he don't go to that number 2, then that ain't the place. Lordy, I don't want to follow him by it myself. Why, it'll be night, sure. He mightn't ever see you, and if he did, maybe he'd never think anything. Well, if it's pretty dark, I reckon I'll track him. I don't know. I'll try. You bet. I'll follow him. If it's dark, Huck. while he might have found out he couldn't get his revenge and be going right after that money. It's so, Tom. It's so. I'll follow him. I will buy Jingos. Now you're talking. Don't you ever weaken, Huck, and I won't. And then that's the end of the chapter. Like I said, not that long of a chapter. I finished that not even 15 minutes in. This video is just reaching over the 10-minute mark, but half of the video was me doing the introduction, so that didn't even take me like 10 minutes to read. But yeah, overall, I thought that was a pretty good chapter. It looked like it's setting some stuff up. Coming down the line, you know, Tom Sawyer wants to find that treasure that Injun Joe took, and he's trying to find places to get it. And it looks like we're going to get some setup. He's going to have Huckleberry Finn keep guard for Injun Joe and follow him if he sees him. And something tells me that's setting up to something bad that could happen. So overall, that kind of has me looking forward to reading ahead. But that's pretty much it for this Read Aloud series. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so that way people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video on this channel, you guys will get the notification for it. And please make sure you guys do the same thing but for my CM Brothers channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.